Hey guys, Bridgie here, and in this video I want to share with you 3 very useful tools and add-ons for Webflow so that you can make your workflow more efficient and faster. So the very first one, which I highly recommend you to start whenever you're kickstarting a new Webflow project, is by using the client-first Webflow style system. And this is a system which has been created by FinSuite, and it's going to enable you to create a very clean page structure and class system so that all of your Webflow efforts are going to be with a solid foundation. So as you can see over here, we're on the main website, and you can click here on Learn Client First with Docs and Videos, and it's basically going to give you a bird's eye perspective as to how Client First really works. So highly recommend you to check out this page and the videos, whatever format you prefer. If you're more into reading it throughout, you can simply go on the different sections, but there's also a lot of really useful videos that are going to teach you everything that you need to know in a pretty efficient and fast way. Now, that being said, this is what I use for each and every Webflow website these days to create a strong foundation, so that I know that at least the page structure and the class systems, all that stuff is going to be taken care of. But when it comes to actually building the website in Webflow, I'm actually using 2 resources these days which are really speeding up the process. And I'm also going to share an extra tip at the very end. And the very first resource is going to be the Relume Library. So as you can see, we're here on the Relume website, and they actually are an agency, as far as I understood, where they create websites for clients. But what they did recently is they launched this library of components, which as far as I understood, they personally used and developed over the past years in order to kickstart their Webflow projects. So this is actually built with practicality in mind, and this is really good because a lot of the times, and I'm talking about design, you would find these UI kits which aren't really practical to use when it comes to actually implementing it for a client workflow. So this is really good, and I just love these components since they are used almost as wireframes. So they're structured in a way where it's very easy to lay down the basic structure of the component, and then you can basically modify the designs as to what style you're using for your specific web design. So as you can see over here, we have a lot of components with a lot of different variations, which is key whenever you're creating a custom solution for a client, because you might like what a specific solution is in a UI kit, but maybe you need a variation of that same component. So this is really, really useful. And as you can see on the top, you also have different filters. So the way that it works is, say that you need, for example, a new footer. You can select the footer components and you're going to see all of the footers, of course. But these filters really make it bring it to a next level, because you can select only footers with 3 columns, for example, or 4 columns. So this is going to give you a level of granularity in your research, which is definitely going to speed up the process, and it's going to bring a lot of options on the table. Now, on top of that, I really like the fact that they're creating these wireframes. But one more tool which I'm using these days and that I feel is really useful in some instances is the flow-based components. Now, these components are much more geared towards like final designs, so they're not really like wireframe. It doesn't have like this wireframe feeling to it, but it feels like a finished design product. So in some instances they're going to work great. In other ones you're probably going to have to tweak them a little bit more. But all in all, you can simply like go and see the preview of the design, and some of these they're just like really well thought out. Like imagine creating this menu from scratch. I mean, it's going to take quite a bit of time, but say that you have a project where you need something very similar, you can simply copy and paste this real quick. Takes like a second, and then you can adjust simply the typography and the icons, and if you need to add or remove menu items, I mean, you're pretty much set. So this is really useful. And on top of this, one more thing which I recommend you to consider is also using Webflow themes. Now in the past I wasn't really too keen in using Webflow themes, but for some specific clients, this could be the best way to kickstart a project if they don't have maybe a lot of time that they want to invest in the design, or if you just want to kickstart a project in a fast way. And specifically, I really like the themes from Flowbase. There's a bunch more on the Webflow theme marketplace, but these ones, I feel that they're really just well structured and well thought out. And also one more thing which I really like is the fact that they have the Figma file. So this is really useful because, for example, you can download the theme in the Figma file, you can create the design, update it, and move the components around, and then go to Webflow and basically leverage the coded versions. So again, this is going to really depend on the client. Most of my work, for example, these days is 100% custom, so we're not really using theme all that much, but definitely something to consider. So hope this video was helpful, and yeah, that's pretty much it, and I'll see you in the very next one.